Motoring 2011 on TSN is brought to you by Michelin, a better way forward.
Lovely, white, fluffy snow. Not an unusual sight during winter months in Canada. Trouble is, this snow is in Alabama, a snowball throw from Florida. Yeah, nobody's talking global warming down here. Now hold on to those cards and letters. I want to save the planet like anybody else, but hey, snow in Alabama, everybody down here is shaking their heads. But I digress. Sure, I wish it was warmer, but really, I can't complain because we're at the Barber Motorsports Park just outside of Birmingham, Alabama, and we're here to drive Porsche 911s. I know, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. And we're going to be driving these 911s at the Porsche Driving School. And we're going to meet a man who, although he is born and bred here in America, Hurley Haywood could be considered the face of Porsche, not only here in North America, but also around the world.
Well, he's an icon, and his affiliation with Porsche goes back many, many years. You know, he certainly is someone that brings a lot of credibility to our school. Yes, we do have a lot of great instructors, but we probably have one of the greatest race car drivers in the world ever here with our program.
This is the first time I have ever done a driving school where there's been snow on the ground. Usually our driving schools are done with, you know, in warm climates. In Birmingham, you wouldn't think of Birmingham as a place that it would snow, but so it's been great for the photographers because they can get great shots with the cars and the snow in the background, but it's cold. I've been racing Porsches for over 40 years, and I very quickly realized that driving a Porsche was my key to success in long distance racing and racing in general. The 911 came to this country in 1964, and basically when you look at a 911, the silhouette from 1964 to the current cars, they're almost the same. Sure, you've got a little wider fenders, you've got a little bigger wings, but the basic shape, the silhouette of the car is the same. And to have something that is as pure as that and as efficient as that really is a cool thing. I use the analogy with dancing a lot. When you're dancing with your partner, you move her with little pressure. Same thing with the car. If you push her, if you shove her, put too much pressure, she'll trip. Same thing with the car. Too much pressure and it'll mess up.
I came here because I am been invited like a journalist to make a one-day experience with 911. One of the objectives to be here is to say to the people in Guatemala by television that if they want to drive a car safety in sport conditions, they have to take a course like this.
You know, along with us guys from Canada, Porsche has invited automotive journalists from both the United States and quite a few from Latin America. And they're not only thrilled about driving these cars here at the Porsche Driving School, they're also excited about the opportunity to hang out with Hurley Haywood.
Haywood in Guatemala is a very near a pioneer of what a pilot has to be, especially on the other motor-headed people. They look at him, they follow him, they hold Daytona because him.
The most important thing on the racetrack is to get the radius right between the turn-in cone and the exit cone.
Always Hurley Haywood is a pioneer, I imagine to follow, or someone to learn from. And therefore, people like me are very close to what he's doing in the tracks and over the tracks too.
Porsche and my style of driving sort of complement each other. The driving of a Porsche it's a precision automobile. I'm a precision type of guy. I like doing things really in a tidy fashion, and I think with 911s, you've got to be precise and tidy. They don't like to be driven completely sideways. It looks cool, and it might be fast for 1 or 2 laps, but after that, the performance just falls away. So I think just the style of a 911 and the philosophy of the company is something that is close to my philosophy. So it's just a whole group of things that sort of mix together makes a good recipe.
You're going to do a hot lap with him today. What's it mean to you to be in the car with Hurley and driving in a Porsche?
It's a big honor. It's a big honor. And for me, I have been very blessed because I have hot laps with Michael Schumacher, with him. And today is a very special day because he's, as I said, it's like an idol. And to be in a hot lap with him, it's once in your life. But for me, as I said, it's blessed because it's twice in my life. Just a few times in your life, you have the opportunity to be with a personality like Haywood. Therefore, I bring some little cars that are from when he won Daytona, he won Le Mans. He sent me 2 photos, 2 pictures when he was riding with Jaguar, and a picture that I took with him in last Detroit Auto Show.
Thank you. Was he a good passenger, Hurley?
Yep.
Is he?
He only screamed one time. It's nice to be recognized. It's nice to be congratulated and patted on the back for something that you've done well. And I've just been really blessed that I've been able to do things well driving a Porsche.
The launch control, it was like every carnival ride all rolled into one at one time. The exhilaration, the feeling, it was so cool.
Oh, excuse me, I've got just a little bit of gas. More later on Kenzie's Corner.
It started with the Forte sedan, it got better with the Forte coupe. On this edition of Test Drive, the Forte hatchback. But please, don't call it the 45. I've always been a hatchback fan, and simply because the format delivers the needed utility and some semblance of driving pleasure. The Forte hatchback, and I'm sorry, I refuse to call it the Forte5, delivers on all fronts. The back end of this Forte has been very well thought through. To begin with, a much needed wash wiper, and there's a proper handle for the tailgate, thank you very much. You'll also find a privacy cover to keep prying eyes off your valuables, and storage space beneath the floor. But more importantly, you'll find 19.4 cubic feet of cargo space with the seats upright, and that more or less doubles when you fold them flat. In other words, plenty of cargo capacity and good utility. The hatch arrives with a 2-litre 4-cylinder that pushes 156 horsepower and 144 pound-feet of torque at a commendably low 4,300 RPM. This is enough to spur the EX tested to 100k in 9.5 seconds, and it accomplishes the 80 to 120 passing move in 7.6 seconds. The use of a 6-speed automatic transmission with a manual mode takes much of the credit for the peppy pickup. The first 4 gears key on performance, the top 2 look after economy. For most potential buyers, this powertrain will be more than enough, especially if fuel economy is important. The tester yielded an average economy of 7.8 litres per 100 kilometres. For the vast majority of potential owners, this 2-litre engine delivers more than enough performance and very good fuel economy. However, if you're looking for a hotter hatch, there is a solution. It's found in the form of the SX model. It brings a lot of upgrades as well as a larger 2.4-litre engine. It ups the output to 173 horsepower and 168 pound-feet of torque. Now that incremental increase is enough to add a lot of snap to the drive. When it comes to the ride and handling characteristics, well, the hatch is remarkably polished. In the past, some complained about the harshness of Kia's ride and the fact it did not sit well with the rest of the car. The hatchback is different. On the one hand, it's comfortably compliant over a rough road. On the flip side, it delivers the desired handling characteristics. The damping is crisp, which minimises body roll, and the response to steering input is sharp. Throw in the EX's sensibly sized 205/55R16 tyres, and understeer is a non-issue, even when pushed through the pylons. When the Forte debuted, its interior was passable. The coupe improved things enormously. The introduction of the hatchback, it takes things to a higher plane altogether. Not only are the materials significantly better, the content is right up there, especially in the EX model. You get everything from Bluetooth, heated seats, tilt and telescopic steering wheel, height adjustable driver's seat, a decent audio system, as well as all of the usual power items, including a power moonroof. It really is now a very pleasant place to while away the miles. The hatch's brake performance is also better than the entry-level norm. The pedal is easily modulated, which keeps premature anti-lock intervention at bay, and the stops measure a short 41.1 metres from 100k. In keeping with the rest of the Kia lineup, the hatchback also comes with a good electronic stability control system. As with the anti-lock system, the Nanny is noteworthy because it does not dive in needlessly. In other words, it's exactly what's demanded of a sporty hatchback. The addition of this Forte hatch does a number of good things. To begin with, it's got a sophisticated powertrain, a 6-speed automatic and a choice of 2 engines. It also handles very well, it's comfortable, the cabin has finally been well thought through and equally well executed, and of course you get the versatility that only a hatchback can deliver. However, all of that is not its key selling point. What is it? Price. At a little over $21,000 for the way this thing is equipped, that represents huge value for your hard-earned dollar.
You know what's wrong with our highways in Canada? Let me tell you, they're too safe and it's killing us. You want to know more? Go to motoringtv.com and check me out, Howard Elmer.
We will offer video streaming of test drives, car comparison, and more thanks to our new exclusive partnership with Motoring TV.
We're really excited that Motoring is going to be the exclusive provider of video content for Autos.ca. I mean, I'm an enthusiast. I watch your show on a weekly basis. I know that the combination of Autos.ca and Motoring is going to provide a lot of value for Canadian consumers, and we're really happy to be partnering with Motoring.
The 911 was first introduced in 1964 to replace the 356. It came equipped with a 2-liter flat 6, 148 horsepower, and a price tag of $6,500. Well, today there are 22 different variations of the 911, and Porsche likes to call the 911 the everyday car. I'm not sure whose day they are talking about because the price now is anywhere between $80,000 and $250,000. And when it comes to horsepower, now we're talking anywhere from 325 to 625. All right, let's now join our favorite man with the wrench, Bill Gardner.
Hey Brad, 2011 Canadian International Auto Show here in Toronto. Porsche doesn't even have a car here, no booth, nothing. So they obviously don't think that auto shows have quite the relevance to their business that they once had. But the big three are here, Chrysler, Ford, GM, and they've got great pickup truck exhibits at this auto show. So you know where you're gonna find me, and I'm here at the Chrysler booth. They've got half a dozen beautiful Ram pickup trucks loaded to the gills, a Power Wagon over there, some really nice trucks, a dually, all kinds of diesels. They've got it all here. And you know what? You can get pretty much any accessory now that you can get in a luxury car and a pickup truck. And you know what? My buddy Scott Snar and I, we had this thing going on over the years, probably over the last 25, 30 years, sort of getting a dig in at each other about each other's pickup trucks. We always bought used trucks. And you know, we started out with the most basic things, standard transmissions, nothing on them, wind-up windows, bare bones trucks. And each successive used truck, or new to us, would have a few more accessories, and we started calling them the Fat Cat pickup trucks. Well, you want to see a Fat Cat pickup truck? Look at this baby. Power heated leather seats on both sides. You know, any option you want to get, you can get on these trucks. And now you're able to get a lot of accessories that used to be aftermarket retrofits or upfits after you bought the truck are available as factory options now. Perfect example, this step here to get into the cab, that used to be an aftermarket accessory, available as a factory option now. Toolboxes, look at this, built right into the box of the truck. Plastic, you know, a durable kind of a liner to it. It's got a light in it, it's lockable, it's secure, it's weatherproof. Pretty good deal as a factory option. And box liners now. This is a spray-on bed liner that started as an option last year. It's about $450. And you know, this takes away the need to buy one of those plastic slide-in liners that'll crack and break and are just a mess to work with. This is a great grippy, non-skid surface that's durable as heck, protects your truck. And a lot of guys are going to want to check this option box off when they order a truck like this and not have to worry about running around afterwards and buying those aftermarket accessories. There will still be that segment of the pickup truck buyer that is still going to want to customize his truck and put his own stamp on everything on it. That'll still happen, but there's a lot of factory options that many guys are going to pick as well. So it's a great deal for the buyers. Till next week, I'm Bill Gardner for Motoring 2011.
As I mentioned, you'll get a chance to drive several different cars today. Out here on the track, we have Carrera S's. Some of them with the manual transmission, some with the PDK, as I said, and you'll get an opportunity in different cars at different times.
We organized a 9/11 experience here at the Barber Motorsports Track in Alabama, just to really showcase the 9/11 to the media from Canada, from the United States, and from Latin America. This driving school has been here since 2008. It's a regular program that we have, and they adapted this program just for 9/11s, just for the media that is here today. And you really get a good feel on the track with the car. We have a road tour element to it, so I think it's a really well-rounded event. The 911 has really been our icon. People think Porsche, they think 911, and there's a 911 really for everybody. So it's an amazing car for us.
I think people who come through who own a Porsche are going to walk away with a much better understanding as to what their car is capable of. They're going to definitely appreciate it more. It certainly builds loyalty to the brand, but they are going to become a better, safer driver without a doubt.
Fantastic program. I mean, to be able to drive the vehicles, you know, in a purpose-built facility like this, to try and get even a little bit close with our driving experience, you know, and everything coming together today, it's fabulous. Launch control, it was like what I imagine a NHRA racer will feel at launch when you go in. I mean, it just slammed you back in the seat. I thought I was going to be looking at the back of the seat. You know, it was so hard, and the fact that it just wells up, and I felt it in the pit of my stomach. It was like every carnival ride all rolled into one at one time. The exhilaration, the feeling, it was. I just couldn't stop laughing. I was like, you know, it was so cool. It was so cool.
It's much harder to get a license in Europe, and the requirements to get a license are really, really strict. Where here, you know, if you're breathing, you can get a license. So I think the more training that you give somebody, whether they're young kids or even older, more experienced drivers, the training is valuable. If the steering wheel is too close to you, you can push it back down.
What's so nice about it is, you know, really he's such a down-to-earth guy. He doesn't come on with, you know, he's done everything, been everywhere, you know, and because we haven't. He's just like, hey guys, have a good time. Let me give you a few pieces of advice, and you know, I just want to be a sponge and soak it up.
Would you advise this for a bucket list or something?
Oh yeah, this is definitely if you're even just a remote car guy, you have to experience something like this, especially in a Porsche. I mean, you know, one of the ultimate icons of motorsports.
Make sure you check out motoringtv.com. We've been testing cars for almost a quarter of a century, and you can take a trip down memory lane in the extensive motoring archives. We've got a photo gallery, and of course, the blog dogs, who look at the good, the bad, and the ugly in the automotive industry. And join us on Facebook for the total motoring experience.
Shell Oil has decided to basically get out of the natural gas retailing business. They actually got out of the propane retailing business a while back as well. For the same reasons, they can't make any money at it. And hey, Shell's a business, it's not a charity. If they can't make a profit, why should they be in the business? The interesting thing is that as a motor fuel, particularly for Canada, natural gas makes a lot of sense. We have a lot of it, it's relatively inexpensive, it burns clean, it's not a bad motor fuel. The problem is, you've got to have a vehicle that can run on it. Not every vehicle can. It costs money to convert a conventional car. Some manufacturers build dual fuel capable vehicles that can run on either gasoline or natural gas. The problem with those is that it's not optimized for either fuel. It can run on both, but it's not ideal on either. A lot of people buy the natural gas capable vehicle and run it on gasoline all the time anyway because they can't find any natural gas. And it's going to get a whole lot tougher as Shell closes down their stations. There are alternatives. You can actually get a home fueling system that'll plug into your house natural gas system and you can refuel the thing at home. That's really cheap, but those things are kind of complicated and hard to find. What if you have a natural gas vehicle now? Well, basically you're in big trouble. Apparently there's a market for used natural gas vehicles in Utah of all places, so if you want to sell your car down there, that might be the answer. So what is the long-term solution? Personally, I think it's hydrogen. In the meantime, clean diesel is probably the best alternative. But the fact is, we're not going anywhere with alternate fuels until gasoline gets more expensive. I know you're going to whine and moan about the price of gas you're paying. By world standards, it's not expensive. And until it gets more expensive, there's not going to be any alternate fuel. I'm Jim Kensey.
You know, Porsche likes to call the 911 the everyday car. However, with a price tag averaging just over $100,000, I think that's a bit of a stretch. However, there is no denying that this 911, despite maintaining the same styling for almost 50 years, continues to set the benchmark when it comes to performance both on and off the track. Before we go, make sure you check out motoringtv.com. You got 24 years of archives, the blog dogs, and of course, join us on Facebook for the total motoring experience. That's it for now. We'll see you next time out as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them.
It is a great year for Camaro. 2011 will be a better year for Camaro. It is a phenomenal car and we just bring it to the next level.
Motoring 2011 on TSN has been brought to you by Michelin, a better way forward.